Hempgrid was created on the notation that every state had been given the responsibility from their legislature to develop a hemp industry within their bounds. What I was starting to notice as a consultant is that developing an industry is difficult for anyone, no matter what their background, expertise, or responsibilities have been, because those items don't fall in history very often. So what we were finding is that after 80 years of absence in the U.S. market, for many people, developing a hemp industry within their state was white paper. It was really starting to develop from the bottom up. In the industry, because it's an agricultural product driven, I think most people believed that if you work associated with the farmers, then obviously you would begin to build the industry. In practical, it does make sense. But most farmers would tell you that one of the most important things about farming is making sure that they could sell their crop at a very good price. So the problem was there was an absence of demand. In creating a supporting industry in the United States, in all the states, you really have to stop and focus on a top-down model. You have to work with the industries that want to consume this. And it's not prepared for them to consume because there is no middle market, there's no supply chain, there's no way of understanding how they're going to receive it. Transportation's been a problem. So because South Carolina is so associated with its development in automotive manufacturing, we very clearly understand how the supply chain system has to work, and if it doesn't work, the things that happen that basically create delays. I think Americans in total, as we went through this COVID situation, we started to hear more about supply chain development issues when it came to food or when it came to animal proteins delivered to stores. And of course, what we saw was a lot of waste that was created because the restaurants were shut down. Probably as a total grouping, it was probably the first time Americans really had to deal with supply chain really matters. That's what's absent in the hemp industry, and that's what Hempgrid is trying to promote and trying to accelerate for different states. Our core business is based on the fact that we are not the product. We are an accelerator service. We work with companies to help them realize their vision and their integration of the hemp properties within their processes or products. In some cases, it's actually us helping them to take it to market faster. In many cases, it's connected with a research and development attribute. We are in connection and working with several universities on innovation and looking at how they may start to bring in hemp as a material that they would use in a development cycle with some of their corporate clients. We have to take the client's interest into consideration. In many cases, our clients are state governments. They are also large corporations, international, all the way down to it may be a small processing center located in one of our counties. So we have to adjust to what the client's needs are. But in every case, because this industry is being hampered by a trailing 80 years of technology, the acceleration process is what we're really trying to push because we're behind a lot of cases of what's going on in the world. We have a way in which we see the industry, and we see it in three different segments. First, we see it in health and wellness, which is the front runner of the hemp industry, which is how CBD has become very popular. And we now see that as going past just the human space, but also into animals. From a fiber perspective, which is the second place we look at it, is focused on, we see it in two different categories. We see it as a technical fiber and also as a consumable or a consumer fiber. On a technical side, we can see it working in coordination with equipment. We can see it being utilized as replacing plastics. We can see it utilized to reduce weight in automobiles. Over 95% of the plant-based fiber products that the U.S. uses for food packaging is imported from China. That is an unbelievable statistic. And so in many cases, what I think is a reality is that plant-based fiber products for food packaging coming out of the United States helps us to start to sustain our own situation. And then the final area where we see a lot of opportunity is in environmental. This plant has an unbelievable ability to deal with remediation. It has a great opportunity to deal with its use from its oils from a biofuel perspective. We see it dealing with extraction of carbons. We see how the nutrients that are remaining from the plant can be put back into the ground, sent back to the farmer. So you get this ecosystem balancing where you're using something and putting it back and allowing the next generation grow to come through that same process.